Warning, the following video contains spoilers for the following games: Final Fantasy IV, Final Fantasy VI, Final Fantasy VII, and Final Fantasy XV. If you have not played these games or completed these games, but plan to, please exit this video and return when you have. What's going on, everybody? DM Projector here. Today's going to be a different video. Today's going to be kind of a sadder video, sad day. We'll be discussing my top 5 saddest Final Fantasy deaths of the games that I have played so far. Now you may be asking yourself, why do I say so far? Well, it's simple. I have not played and beaten every single Final Fantasy game yet. As a matter of fact, at the time I started writing this video out, I hadn't even finished Final Fantasy 15 yet. So, with that being said, we're going to discuss my personal top 5 saddest Final Fantasy deaths in the series, starting with number 5. Number 5, Cid from Final Fantasy VI. Cid invented the process of Magitech, which involves the extraction of magic from espers and the infusion of their power into humans. Cid redefined the process and used it on a 2-year-old child named Celeste. We meet Cid about midway through the game and quickly learn how much Cid cares for Celeste, as well as the world, after learning about the process required for making Magitech. After the Returners are betrayed by the Empire, Cid helps them escape, and then isn't to be seen again until after the World of Balance ends, when Celeste awakens on a deserted island with no survivors except for Cid. Cid lets Celeste know how he cared for her and helped her in the year that she had been asleep after the world had ended. Cid then announces to Celeste that he is sick and very weak. Celeste offers to return the favor, caring for her by doing the same, in which you are sent off to catch fish for Cid to eat in an attempt to save him. And I'll go ahead and say it now. Yes, Cid does not actually have to die. You can save him. This is not a required death in the game. But the point still stands that even if you do save him, he is useless and laid up in the cabin for the rest of the game. So it's the same thing, basically. Cid's death was brought upon us suddenly and in a way that was uncalled for. It did make it easier to believe that Celeste could survive for a year after the world ended, but at the same time it made it very depressing for his passing. The first time I played through Final Fantasy VI, and hell, honestly, every time since, it makes me sad. And while yes, Cid isn't a main character in the game and was fully an NPC, he played a huge part in the backstory and in making sure the rest of the game could go on and make sense. So with that said, I say, rest in peace, Cid, you will be greatly missed. Number 4, Tellah from Final Fantasy IV. Tellah is a badass, smart-mouthed, sassy old son of a gun in Final Fantasy IV. You sadly meet him right before tragedy strikes him for the second time in his life. When you first encounter Tellah, you meet him en route to find his daughter and the spoony bard she ran off with. The problem is, in his old age, he can't make it through the cave completely due to a strong monster, so he asks for your help. As you approach the castle where his daughter and son-in-law are, the Red Wings attack to steal the crystal. After the attack, you rush the castle for survivors, only to find one. And unfortunately, it's not Tellah's daughter, Anna. Tellah, of course, is heartbroken and tries to attack Edward, but is unsuccessful. Long-ass story short, Tellah continues his journey with the party until a little later, and here come the spoilers. Kain guides Cecil's party to the Tower of Zot, where they meet Golbez, who takes the crystal but will not free Rosa. Tellah attacks Golbez and casts a spell on him, but only to find that they have no effect. He then converts his own life energy into the necessary magic power to cast Meteor, which severely wounds Golbez. Cecil rushes to strike him, but Golbez knocks him down and escapes. Golbez's control over Kain is broken and he goes back to being Cecil's friend. Everyone surrounds Tellah, who is dying due to casting Meteor at the cost of his own life. He asks the others to avenge Anna for him and dies. So Tellah basically sacrifices his life for us. What the fuck? It's heartbreaking, it's shocking, it's absolutely insane, but he does it so selflessly that's what makes it sad. It's not just that he's gone, it's that he did it without a second thought to make sure that Cecil and the rest could save the world, and in his last words, avenge his daughter. And that's what makes it truly sad. Number 3, Jessie, Biggs, and Wedge from Final Fantasy VII. Now I know this one may come as a surprise as far as what I'd pick as my saddest Final Fantasy VII death, but I wasn't going to go with the obvious because everybody knows about that one. And to be completely honest, this one did really hurt. Now, there's not a lot of backstory that I can put to them, as they're not in the game for very long, but it's most definitely the saddest one. Jesse, Biggs, and Wedge are members of the Avalanche Group out to save the world from the evil Shinra Corporation alongside Cloud and Barret. They are the essential, non-essential members that aren't playable but play the biggest parts in the group, getting into places that they shouldn't be. The death came as a total shock to young me the first time I played the game, and honestly was made even sadder when I played the Final Fantasy VII Remake demo. After Avalanche bombs the Sector 1 and Sector 5 reactors, Shinra launches an assault on the pillars supporting the plate above Sector 7 slums, destroying all of Sector 7 to wipe out the organization and put blame on Avalanche for the attack. Sadly, the only deaths, alongside from the people who were in Sector 7 slums, were Jesse, Biggs, and Wedge, which sucks. I honestly don't have much more to say about their passing because information on them, aka backstory, is impossible to find. And trust me, I looked. Just know that this one broke my heart bad. Number 2. General Leo from Final Fantasy VI. Yes, I know. Another NPC who suffers a horrible fate in Final Fantasy VI. You first meet Leo when Sabin and Shadow arrive at the Imperial camp near Doma Castle. Leo tells an Imperial trooper that they must delay their attack to minimize casualties and advise the trooper he should remember his family and not be so eager to die in battle. Although Sabin and Shadow are hiding and do not meet him, Sabin is impressed with Leo's principles. Kefka is also at the camp, and though Leo ordered him not to poison Doma, Kefka does it as soon as Leo is called away. Later, when the returners join a banquet with Gestahl in the Imperial Palace, Gestahl asks Leo to accompany Terra and Locke on a mission of goodwill to find the Espers. After Terra and Locke find the Espers, who are led by Yura, they return to Thesma and meet with Leo. Although the Espers and Leo negotiate a truce, Kefka intervenes and incapacitates Leo's soldiers, including Celeste, Terra, and Locke, telling Leo he was ordered by Gestahl. Kefka kills the Espers and takes their magicite, then orders his bodyguards to burn the village. Leo defeats Kefka, but Kefka conjures an image of Gestahl, who informs Leo that he ordered an attack on Thesma, and that he and Kefka had manipulated Leo into gathering the Espers for them. Kefka reveals what Leo thought was just another illusion and kills Leo. He taunts Leo by saying that he, Kefka, will tell Gestahl he had to dispose of a traitor. The returners lay Leo to rest at a grave in Thesma. So basically, to summarize, Leo is kind of a good guy. He's kind of the good guy of the Empire, and he tries to take no shit. But of course, goddamn Kefka likes to be a dick and defy orders. So while Leo is trying to be a nice guy and help the world from not falling into goddamn War of the Magi 2 Electric Boogaloo, Kefka and Empire Gestahl are plotting behind his back, and sadly it costs Leo his life. I mean, fucked up, right? I thought so. It's depressing, and Kefka's little stupid clown ass gets what he wants and sends the whole world to the world of ruin. Now I know, I've sworn a lot in this video describing this death, but that's the only way to do it because it really pissed me off. You get lured into this huge false sense of hope and then fucking stabbed, and one of the best NPCs gets taken from you. I love Final Fantasy VI. Anyone who knows this, or anyone who knows me, knows this. It's my all-time favorite Final Fantasy title. And honestly, one of the biggest things that got me into it. And I know I'm calling Leo's death my number 2 status in the list of 5 because it is. Because of the absolute plot twist that the game takes to get you there made the story great. Now I'm not going to sit here for 45 minutes explaining it to you, but I could. But it was such a huge plot twist, no one ever saw it coming. Which is why I warned you at the start of this video not to watch it if you haven't beaten the games yet you want to. It was a major turning point, and even though it's as sad as ever, it was perfectly placed and well written, which makes me happy and pissed at the same time. And now, the moment that we've all been waiting for. And I want you all to know that in the time it took me to finish writing this video out, I actually finished this game. And honestly, it just made it a lot sadder. Number 1. Lady Lunafreya from Final Fantasy 15. What the fuck? I legit almost cried my eyes out when I got to her death in 15. As a matter of fact, her death is actually what made me start writing this video. Now, long ass backstory made short. Lunafreya is the future wife of main character Noctis. They were childhood friends who were being made to marry. Honestly, I'll just post a link in the description for the Final Fantasy wiki, because I don't feel like trying to summarize her entire backstory. It's kinda long. But to be put simply, Noctis and Lunafreya were set to be married when Insomnia fell. En route to his destination, Noctis is shocked to learn that Insomnia has fallen and that his father and his beloved were believed dead. But in truth, she had escaped the conquest of Lucius, and lets Noctis know that she is fine via a message delivered by Umbra. She appears in Noctis' visions when he confronts the Astrals, the gods of Innos, as referred to as the Six. Noctis learned that she has been rousing the Six, speaking to the Astrals on his behalf so that he can forge covenants with them and gain their power. I had a bunch that I was going to read, but I decided to just go ahead and skip straight to the point. When Lunafreya summons Leviathan for the gods' help, she becomes angry and attacks, forcing Noctis to fight. The Empire attacks and disrupts the summoning as well. Lunafreya beckons to Leviathan, but her words do not reach the angered god who tries to devour her. Lunafreya repels Leviathan with the magic of the Trident of Oracle to convince her to at least test Noctis, who is caught amongst the chaos. And at this point, Chandler fuckboy bitch Adrian appears and wounds Lunafreya, knowing Noctis would witness it. As she grips his arm, her healing powers activate, as he is tainted by the powers of darkness. He casts her aside and departs. Lunafreya summons the power of the kings of old to aid Noctis via the Oracle's trident, really one of the 13 arms. Noctis fights Leviathan with the power of the kings and wounds her. When the astral god Titan appears to oppose Leviathan, Lunafreya shields an unconscious Noctis from a tidal wave. Fucked up heavy shit here, right? That's not all. Lunafreya appears to Noctis in a dream where she gives him the Ring of Lucy as she fades away into the light. Now get your tissues ready if you haven't already. Ravius and Ignis find the dying Lunafreya and unconscious Noctis on the altar of the Tide Mother. As her life fades, Ravius flies into a rage, but is quelled by Ignis. Ravius lamentates how the only thing he wanted was for Lunafreya to be happy and free to live a life of her own choosing, but knows her spirit will not rest until the prophecy has been fulfilled. Her body disperses in the light, and her spirit appears to Ravius, who begs her not to leave. But she vanishes. It's fucked up. It's heartbreaking. It was another goddamn death I did not see coming, nor did I want. Like, I legitimately put down my Xbox controller and did not touch Final Fantasy 15 for 4 days after this happened. 9 times out of 10, you can kind of see something like this coming, but not this time. And honestly, it was more fucked up because up to this point, unless I'm just an idiot and don't pay enough attention, the game kind of makes you think that Adrian is an okay guy. Yeah, he's from the Empire, but up to this point, he's kind of been on your side. And then, nope, fuck you, your future wife is dead now. It's bullshit. And honestly, I've been playing Final Fantasy games for most of my gaming life, so I shouldn't be surprised. But I mean, fuck. I mean, I did literally just talk about how the Empire in Final Fantasy VI makes you believe they're on your side, just to prove that they can't be trusted. Lunafreya's death, while hugely depressing, is more proof that the writers that Square Enix hires to write these games know what they're doing. It's the plot twist you didn't ask for and you didn't want, but it caught you off guard like it was supposed to. I almost cried. Like, I'm 28 years old and I almost fucking cried. Why? Because it was unexpected. It changed the entire storyline for the final 4 chapters of the game. As tragic as it was beautifully written and it was well placed too. The game made you believe that the murderer was on your side, and that at this point, as long as you protected the town, you'd get Lunafreya back, and instead ripped your fucking heart out and served it to you with a nice side dish. All of these deaths, as tragic as they were placed so perfectly in their games, and that's what makes them sad. You fall in love with these characters, and you enjoy their backstories and their placement, and then they rip them away from you. And that's what makes them so fucking tragic. It's almost like real life. You fall in love with these great people that you meet in your life, and then tragedy turns around and just takes them from you. And that's what makes any death sad. And in these games, it's really no different. And I know, I can see the comments already. Oh, it's just a game. Get over it. It's not like real life. But to gamers, it is. To people like me, who fall in love with these stories, it is. Now, I know there's been many, many deaths throughout the 14 main series games. And they've all been tragic in their own ways. But to me, these are the 5 that really broke my heart into pieces. Not just because of how they happened, but how they were written into the games and how in depth they were when we got there. I'm interested to know who is your top 5 saddest deaths, or whatever, your saddest Final Fantasy deaths. Hell, what's the saddest video game death you've ever experienced? Share it in the comments below, and maybe I'll make a follow-up video where I talk about them too. But for now, my name is David, aka DM Projector. I love your faces. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and try not to get too sad when your favorite characters pass away in a game. But until next time, bye.